over in Washington, D.C. with the Voice of America Jazz Hour. Jazz is made of many elements which came to this country from other cultures as people of other countries came to America. Jazz is many different ways of performing many different musics. Most recently, modern, rock, folk music, and electronic music. We see or hear this new fusion in the music of the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Weather Report, Chick Corea and Return to Forever, the Herbie Hancock Group, and the group led by Michał Urbaniak of Poland. Michał Urbaniak, Poland. Michał Urbaniak, Poland. Michał Urbaniak, Poland.
Okay, hi everybody. Hi Karen. Hi Kathy. Hi Peter.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. So, to start with, who is gonna talk first, Karen or Peter? How did it all start that we are meeting here and listening to your great music and story and all that?
Start us meeting, Karen and me.
Yes.
Yes, we met.
How did it start with the music? I mean, you had to start somewhere to get where you are,
Yeah, sure.
right?
25 years ago, 94, 93, we met. And we made, at school, I'm teaching in Gothenburg at university, jazz department. And she was a student, actually. So after a few years, we got together, and I wanted her to write lyrics for some of my songs, you know, that I did. You remember For You, I did in New York with you.
Yes.
So I wanted her to do lyrics. And then, yeah, we started. It worked so fine, so we got married even after 2 years.
Married through the music.
Yeah.
We made one album in 95, I think, and next 97. So that's where it started, you know, perfect combination somehow.
Okay.
And we picked it up now again after like 4 years ago, 5. We did new stuff. That's basically the whole story.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna play one of your short songs. Just so we can hear one of the collaborations you did, right?
Time to break out of the chains and shackles. Can you feel it? You are not alone no more. Riser together, stronger together. Time to redesign and rise again. For a better day to come. Hear the shout out for the greater good. Saying now's the perfect time to redesign and rise again.
Okay. So this is an example. When did you record it? Tell the story about this.
Okay, here's the story. It's 4 years ago now. I think I met Lenny here in Gothenburg, and Lenny White, and talked to him. We'd, talked about doing something since, we made in 90s somewhere. When we met at your place in New York, and we wanted, to cooperate. So I had made some new songs with Corin, and he liked it. So we went to New York and recorded 3 years ago, and the album was released exactly 1 year ago, actually. But then the COVID, it's on ice.
Yeah, COVID does it all now, right?
It's just destroyed the whole year in a way. But so meanwhile, we're sitting home and doing those video. This one was for Instagram, so it's maximum 60 seconds. But we also made videos on the album we did, 4 of that songs.
You have whole album in videos?
Yeah, 4 or 5. It's an EP.
Great.
New Point of View is the name of. You have it there, right? So
yeah. You want me to play it now?
well, I don't know, Karin, do you want to add something?
No, but actually the shout out video you just saw, it was it's not on the album. It's a new project with Lenny White, and he's the founder of the song, and we have just built upon it, and I wrote lyrics together with Lenny also. So it's a different project. We call it Glimpse of Konst, just a little snippet of our what we do, the work we do.
So that's the next project actually started, right?
Yeah, it's a kind of portfolio. You show your work. You keep on being creative as you show to people what you do. It's a way of get to the next step in creating music, I think.
Okay, I have something prepared here, so we can hear one more. You can comment on this. Is this one?
New demands, new plans. You're supposed to know what you should do and where to go from here. Moving fast, plane to catch, to a world you've never seen before.
But if we are recording this now, we can maybe cut in the videos in the video.
Demands, new plans.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Moving fast, plane to catch, to a world you've never seen before.
Okay.
Maybe we could, if you don't hear, we could play it again and edit it.
You couldn't hear that?
I hear everything good.
Now I was hearing it, but before
Not from the beginning, probably.
when I see the video, I can't hear it, but when there's no video, I can hear it. So
Yeah.
We didn't change anything, Kathy. What was in your
It's like
setup?
at the beginning.
We had this problem earlier today with Kathy, so I don't know on what side. Here, it's always the same. Anyway, can we talk about because what's blowing me away with you guys, Peter's original arranging and original writing. I think nobody writes music the way you do, and you can be recognized. And the same goes for Carrie. I mean, you're so original. I'm blown away since we ever met. We met in beginning of 90s, and then we've been on and off in touch. Can you talk about your writing or about ideas, and also about Karen, about your lyrics, because you wrote lyrics to so many songs and you recorded so many songs. I know most, not all probably, but I know most of your recordings, guys, since many years, since the beginning, when Peter said that you were singing higher register. I mean, that's I probably talked higher at once in my life too. So
Yeah.
can you guys talk about this?
Yeah, Peter, you start with the compositions, the music.
But you can play apart from the first album when I think Karen was 25 years old. This is 25. So you can hear the difference with him in voice. How you get lower and so, but I like it, both of them. So, but about
we like it too. Don't worry.
Sorry.
We like it too.
About writing, I don't know. I always done it. I'm a piano player and also teach piano, but I started to practice, and just after 10 minutes, I started to play something, find songs. I liked chords. That's why you play.
Yeah, I know. What was really blowing me away in your writing, that you always found your own harmonies to even known songs or unknown songs, whatever. You always had your own sound and own harmonies.
Yeah.
Maybe you can show us standard first, like a few bars of something which is like in the book, and then your version.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can play around a little with one, but
like they say, you can play rings around it.
but yeah, I don't know what, but that's I feel like a teacher now, and I've been teaching all my life. So this one. The basic.
Yeah.
It's like 3 chords, like all the pop music today. James Bond. Yes, and the more jazzy, this is tried. Basic stand it up. can do it. Bang. Last version. You know,
I know. You can do it many ways. You could go on and on. I know this.
oh,
Yeah, but it's great.
So
Actually, I can listen to this on and on.
it's fun because I always try to, do something else to keep the melody as it is, and then try to change the environment. So, and we did a few recordings with it from the early albums. We did My Funny Valentine, and we did My One and Only Love, if you remember, Michael.
Yeah. You want to play it?
You could play apart from it, if you like.
Yeah, sure.
Which do you have it? My One and Only Love, do you have it there?
No, not right away, but soon. You want me Spotify or YouTube?
No, on Spotify it's easier.
Okay.
I mean, I could play it from here also, but I don't know if it sounds good.
Okay, you can try.
I try to. I mean, since we're recording, we can cut this, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm playing it now.
Okay.
Yeah, so just play it.
So here's My One and Only Love from '96.
The very thought of you makes my heart sing like an April breeze on the wings of spring. And you appear in all your splendor. My one and only love. The shadows fall and spread their misty charms in the hush of light, while you're in my touch of your hand is like heaven, a heaven that I have never known. The blush on your cheeks whenever I speak, tell me that you are mine alone. You fill my eager heart with such desire. Every kiss you give sets my soul on fire. I give myself in sweet surrender. My one and only love. My one and only love. My one and only my love.
Great.
Listen, I can't
Thank
believe
you.
it's 25 years ago.
Yes, about.
Listen, how do you work together? I mean, who starts what? Changing or what?
Sorry.
Who starts? How do you mean with the?
I mean, either you start with lyrics idea, or probably sometimes you start. Sometimes Peter has something. You wake up and he's got some strange chords, and he wants to put lyrics. I mean,
Well, it often starts with Peter. Peter has a composition. He has a song, and he always always have my voice in his head. So he writes very suitable for my voice, and it's very easy to write lyrics actually to his music because it's very full of pictures and sceneries. So I see a lot of things, and I suggest some themes for some topics to write about, and I ask him, is this okay? And he always says, yes, it's okay, it's great. So he never says, no, I think you should do something like, he buys everything I write. That's not a good thing, Peter. You should be more.
That is so comfortable, actually.
Yeah.
some of us are deaf to the lyrics. Some, to some lyrics at least.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, I always listen to the melodies before the lyrics in other musics. Yeah, I can understand you.
Some lyrics you don't want to listen to.
Yes.
In pop music,
Yeah.
No, but it works, very good, perfectly. It's smoothly. We never fight almost. Well, we can fight on chords.
Yes, on chords we fight.
No, this is too difficult.
No, that's okay. That one's okay.
I know Peter's got some out chords.
Yes, it's so.
To find something that is ugly inside the beautiful. You know, I think I got it from Stravinsky and classical music. I met Maria Schneider. This is also a long time ago. We talked about the little. You can like smooth, typical smooth, nice, beautiful chords. Put some dissonance inside to make it more, you know, with more tension somehow. You know, if it's too beautiful all the time, you lose.
You want to make them more spicy. That's the.
The probably trick is to know which wrong note to put where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the, but you use your ear. Yes. I think it's, and when, so it's kind of cluster, and with an orchestra, you can orchestrate it so it's smoother, right?
In orchestra is also matter of who plays what instrument,
Yeah,
how it's been.
so if you have like 4.
Any other standard would you play your way? Just chorus or so?
You want to play another standard?
Yeah, anything. I mean, you know, just so we can say we don't like the chord, like.
Oh, I don't know if I remember it, but this is out for me too. But it's also, I can play it on Spotify if you like, but it's
Show Funny Valentine.
Funny Valentine. But then I need Karen to sing it because I can't play melody and chords.
Okay, what is it called? Which one?
It's My Funny Valentine.
Oh, okay, hold on.
I can.
Okay, I got it.
My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine.
It's okay.
Very, very original, must say.
So it's
So how many wrong chords there were?
Wrong. But oh.
it's so it's so it's completely
Uh-huh.
different. So that's a kind of own world inside, because the melody is exactly as it is, and she sings really close to the melody, maybe too close for but that's the point, because I had to know the melody note before I put the chord. So sometimes melody is here, and the chord is there. So
But
Also, in the context, one after another, it's
yeah, so
But I have to add to this: when the chords are that clashy, I always listen to the bass because I can't get any help from the chords in the right pitches because it's so very clashy. So I always listen to the bass.
the bass will translate what to do.
yeah,
How to make it.
bass is my left hand, the third hand.
Mm.
So, but there's no rules for it. It's just by ear, everything. I have to analyze this afterwards. If I have to write it down, I have big problems to name the chords. I don't know how to describe it. So for
So
me,
you probably have to transcribe what you played later with.
yeah, and you have to
I know that.
put it on paper. I write exactly how it's voiced. That's because you can't. What? So I look at chords as multiple melodies more, than not just a grip position. You see it. Is it 4 notes? It's 4 melodies. So I can move them separately.
Mhm.
So instead of having this block thing, as you have in this old jazz
Uh-huh.
thing. I try to see it. I have a linear approach to composing also. That writing, you have melody, and I write the bass line as a melody, and then I add notes inside, so it will become. Then you can hear so many different things. If you follow the melody, if you follow the melody's natural solution or movement or direction,
Mhm.
you end up in totally different sounds. So I never think in functions. C minor 7, blah blah blah. I don't. Never. It's just. And then you, of course, like this. melody, the bass goes chromatically the whole way down. And then it goes up. So that's one example. You see the bass, I hear the bass going somewhere and I adjust. This is quite, traditional. I don't change so much, but you see, instead of playing the bass, always the root. It's so boring.
It's good you didn't forget the original changes.
Yeah, it's so much different.
No, I never.
Kadi, do you have some questions? Kadi.
Me? Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you guys, you, Peter and Michael, how did you meet and when?
Well,
It was like 260 years ago.
beginning of 90s, on
That's
Manhattan, I had a studio, and still, actually, it's still there, but I'm not there. And I was open house, many musicians.
You mean in New York?
Yes.
Yeah, in New York. And there was always like some of them were even like sleeping, although I didn't have too many rooms. So I had to sleep under the keyboard or computer. Some of my friends slept in my bedroom, and and
One of them was Peter.
yeah,
So what?
I don't remember Peter sleeping there, but what I remember that we were like, I had a Korg piano on the right side from screen like this, and I was playing something, and my hobby is also some harmonies, like changes and so on, and I started doing something like, playing, and then he sat down and blew me away. So that's the love from the first sight. We knew that we love harmonies, and we were in touch. We did some recordings, some projects, and so on. We got another keyboard player here, great guy, Michael Pollard. Welcome here, Michael.
Yeah, welcome, Michael.
Hello.
I think Michael wants to ask something.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we're good. How are you?
Doing fine. Hello, Peter.
Oh, hello. I can't see you. Is it?
Oh, well, I'm not in the best place right now. I'm in motion, so yeah, I can't really do that at the moment.
I see your
But
picture.
yes. So what pianist keyboardist inspired you?
Piano players. It's for me who started, in the 70s. I was a guitar player to start with, but that's actually it's Herbie Hancock. No doubt about it. He blew me away. Also his way, the Miles Davis Quintet, Way Shorter, and those albums.
Like Miles album, yeah, like ESP or
ESP. They blew me away.
I want to say, in your playing, I can hear the inspiration, like from Miles or ESP, like Hancock and that albums.
And those. So
Play it.
And yeah, but his voicings blew me away. I didn't know what he did. He did something like this, and I didn't understand what. So I spent years, to figure out how. And then in the end, I will play soon. But in the end, when we recorded at your place, it was Manhattan Man, like the first And Herbie Hancock was there playing a track.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have that track on MIDI. He played on MIDI keyboard, so I have the
Yeah.
so I can see what he did, and I can play the same, but it doesn't sound like you know. It's something. It's kind of things, you know. Like this one. Fall. It's on Nefertiti. And and it starts like this, second there and second there. And I don't understand. And the bass, Ron Carter is playing different bass notes all the time, you know, every chorus. Well, it sounds like weird.
Yeah. It's all how you sweeten it with the consonants and dissonance, you know, if it feels right.
Yes. So in this case, it's just, you know, third and fourth together, you know, those forbidden combinations together. But that's, and it's perfect for Miles and Wayne Shorter to play over it because it's so open, so they can play whatever they like anyway.
Right.
Instead of playing, I mean, it's common third, like this is what it is actually, you know. This is what it is, but it sounds like this. So that's, I've tried to figure it out. So
You played some nice voicings on the Nefertiti once, if I've heard.
No, do you know Nefertiti?
Yeah, we were. I think most of us heard it.
Yeah. But this is original. And so 16 bars. And I kept the melody, I did. So that is more, you know, Brad Meldau, right?
Yeah.
So it's more classic, or Ravel in a way. This is Ravel. So and I know Herbie plays Ravel. He loves him, and yeah. So Herbie Hancock definitely, and then of course Chick Corea. I like, you know, Return to Forever.
Nice.
Also, and Keith Jarrett also, his trio, but mostly Hancock and Chick. But I also love Brad Meldau today. You know him, right? I mean, pianistically, he's a monster. What he's doing, but and also they today playing also, like, you know, quiet music. So it's not this the lush jazz chord all the time. It's also let's start from Brad Meldau's song. It's like, Chopin or whatever. So since I love harmony, that's why I think every piano player loves harmony. That's why you play piano.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
So-
all about the way you color and how you just journey through, sound
Exactly.
as you build.
And then, so I have picked up things from, also classical music. Like, Chopin, maybe Ravel is number one. That kind of because he plays those harmony also.
Mhm.
So dissonance that Harvey does, and so I found a lot of from many places actually. When harmonically, you can also like from orchestral pieces. You can find.
I noticed when you play piano, you play different harmonies. When you write for orchestra, very often you change the harmonies.
Yes, sometimes.
Yeah, I noticed this. I have a question to Karen. What kind of songs are you looking for? Let's say if you were now, say, waiting for a new song. I mean, what kind of songs?
You mean if I wanted Peter to start writing on something?
Yeah, or basically you wanted to record something or to sing something or sing about the song and maybe in turn come to Peter, listen, I would like to do something like.
Yeah, I'd actually wanted him for a long time to write for a symphony orchestra. So I would like to, before I die, I would like to sing with a symphony orchestra, because I was also not a violinist, but I played the violin when I was younger. And I've been playing in a symphony orchestra as a youngster, and I love the sounds in that big, authentic, not digital sound.
We spoke with Peter after pandemia when the Philharmonic halls here will start doing so. We'll invite you to Herb Symphony concerts. So
it would be so great.
we talked about a few times,
Yeah.
This is great. I basically agree. I mean, to play with a symphony orchestra and to play the music you love.
Yeah.
And now the young symphony orchestra musicians, they even have good rhythm, which wasn't the case like 20, 30 years ago.
Okay.
The violin players can syncopate, not too fast swing, so you can really write like for a big band, like really for jazz musicians at times.
Because I also love groovy music, and to sing more another kind of expression as you sing, because in symphony orchestra it would be more romantic, I think, more beautiful melodies and not so groovy, but I also love groove. What did he just hold up there?
It was the first one. We didn't put. I mean, now we have ready. Next one we have already on YouTube, but we didn't put. We are not putting much. It's slow time.
Okay.
For working. But eventually there is a good recording with National Symphony Orchestra, with world famous conductor Jerzy Maksymiuk. Really, a very good one on Herb Symphony and with Philharmonic National Philharmonic
Mhm.
on YouTube. Yeah, so that's it. Anybody who has questions to our
I got a question to Peter.
Okay.
So I don't know, is it a good association, but in your playing I can hear the something, I don't know, the influence, or just it reminds me the playing of Esbjörn Svensson
Uh-huh.
and Lion Mace. I don't know, is he and Lion Mace was an influence on you, but I can hear, and it just reminds me the,
Okay.
I don't know, the harmonic or something, thinking of Esbjörn.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I haven't listened so much to him. We are the same generation also, so he's a very good musician. He was, but no, not actually. Sorry, it have been Americans.
if anybody, I think you didn't mention Bill Evans.
Yeah,
Because
because
I think
Yes, the Bill Evans, Burn Svensson, and Lion Mace are very similar to themselves, but
no,
well,
not
well, thinking of the influence from the classical music, because all of these three guys were very influenced by Chopin mostly, and that's the
listen to Kind of Blue and talk. Why do you hear Chopin in Blue and Green, or one of So What, or one of the other? I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
in Blue and Green I very hear the Chopin influence, but
Okay.
and in soloing of Lion Mace the influence of Chopin is very big, and also in Esbjörn Svensson teams is very Bill Evans and Lion Mace said that, and Esbjörn Svensson, all of them said that Chopin and classical music was the biggest influence on them.
I think so. I mean, Chick Corea played classical, Hancock, and today, Keith Jarrett, of course, Brett Meldau, and all the young started with that, because there's so much music, written down. So it's so fun to play,
Michael, I'm talking to Michael Pollard, who is a great keyboard player. You are not around the keyboard at the moment, right?
No, but I think I've been on Earth quite a few times. It's probably not my first time on the block, but I understand a little.
All right. We're gonna meet again.
Mike, can I ask which piano player have you been inspired of?
That's very interesting, Michael. Your influences.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my influences that I can think off the top right now is pretty much Keith Emerson, Rick Wakeman, Patrick Moraz, Joseph Zawinul, Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, Dexter Wansel, Hermeto Pascual, Jan Hammer, and many more.
Yeah.
Great.
So many of the fusion guys.
Yeah, pretty much. And also as far as classical music, I like Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff,
Yes.
and let's see, is another Bella Bartok, Alberto Ginastera, cats like that. So yeah.
But Savonal, of course. I mean, Weather Report was my my main influence. Wayne Shorter, and as composer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been playing keyboard all the time. I programming synthesizer the whole 90s, and so this I never play acoustic piano.
Hmm.
So just now I'm playing this Nord Grand. It's
Oh, nice. You playing the Nord? Yeah.
it's so fantastic, this piano. But so I'm more into, synthesizers, and I love Fender Rhodes. It's my favorite. So.
Oh yeah, same here too. I love the Fender Rhodes. Yeah.
So much. Maybe we could play, Michael.
Yeah.
Maybe we could play from the last album with Lenny White. We did the title.
One.
It's the title it's called The New Point of View. Title song.
New Point of View.
You have the video?
Yes, hold on. Just a moment. I'm going to share the screen. Sharing the screen. And playing it.
I cannot hear it. What about you guys?
No, I can't hear anything.
Same.
You cannot hear?
No, so probably maybe without the video.
Hold on, but I don't know why one of them plays one. Hold on, once more. I will play
Bless you.
play the sound then, okay? Without video.
Yeah.
If you don't know. Tell me, can you hear that?
Yes. Yeah.
Dusk and dawn and blurry shadows brought into morning light suddenly change in appearance. Now on the second flight, lemon circles, crooked angles, seen from this point of view, suddenly seem to be beautifully shaped. Now when I see it clearly, persuasive, one-minded, my way on the highway, no other perspective mirrors an narrow mind, but now I rise above. New beliefs and new assumptions brought into broad daylight suddenly seem so much daring. Now when I'm on this flight, broken ladders, windows shattered, seen from this point of view, maybe could still be of use if we dare to try, see it in a new way. Persuasive, one-minded, it's my way or the highway, no other's perspectives mirrors an arrow mind, now I rise up. Let me see, let me feel, let me fade, let me fall from heaven, let me rise above again. From a new point of view. Let me know, let me flow, let me down, let me up to heaven, let me rise above again. Let me see, let me feel, let me fade, let me fall from heaven, rise above again. Let me know, let me flow, let me down, let me up to heaven, rise above again.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know. One of the videos plays with audio. I don't change any settings. So I don't know.
Yeah, but we can hear the music, so that's the most important.
Okay.
Questions. I know Kathy has some questions, right?
I have question. Actually, I want to ask Karin and Peter, both of you, like which one is more close to your heart, classical music or jazz? Can you tell?
I can speak for me, and I say jazz before classical music because it's a more free genre. You can improvise, and you're supposed to do your own take. You have your own perspective on things, and I don't think that's the same in classical music. You have to be more keep to the track more, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. What about you, Peter?
Yeah, it's the same here, actually. I mean, jazz is so broad. What is jazz today? It's for me the music that comes from from the Afro-American culture.
Mm-hmm.
You have blues, jazz, you have hip hop, R&B. I mean, that's groove. First of all, so they're so powerful rhythmically, and we don't have it here in Sweden or the same. In Europe, I think in general, it's more focused on nice melodies and chords and good sounds. But over there, it's more, drums, rhythm sections up front. I mean, I love Beyonce. That's the best you can hear today, almost. But also, what I love in jazz is the approach to music. To me, it's not the style; it's more a way of relating to music with improvisation
Mm-hmm.
to do in the moment. What happened. So that's it's been like what do you say, role model all the time from not rehearsing. Miles Davis again, quintet. He never rehearsed.
Mm-hmm.
Just went in. Chick Corea. The other day, I saw a video on YouTube with him. Interview. He said the first time he played with Miles, he was subbing. Herbie Hancock was sick, so I mean, I don't know how old he was, like 21, 22 maybe, and he was like that. The William asked Korea if he could do the gig because Hancock. Yeah, and called Miles and said, "Okay, when's the rehearsal?"
There is no.
You play what you hear. That's what the only thing is. Play what you hear.
That's so many great stories about it. I just want to say quick one. I was witness sitting in with Miles in Beacon Theater on a concert where he was auditioning 4 guitar players in front of 3,500 people. That's the end of the story. Mike Stern, Ford, Casey, and Scott.
Schofield.
Yeah.
Yes, Schofield.
And one of them went next day. We went to play Baltimore, whatever.
Yeah. You gotta have nerves, But on the other hand, they play the music so open.
Mhm.
They didn't. Yeah, there's the songs exactly the same. Maybe they just play the first motives of the song, and then they started to play something else. So I think it was this free jazz era in New York that had that attitude to music. So it's exciting, but it's not many doing this today. So,
Okay, another question to both of you. You like to, I mean, obviously you have original music, you write music, write lyrics, but do you like standards also, like songs? And I mean, I know you recorded quite a few, so it's got to be something which probably for Karen, which moves you lyrically, and both of you have found a way to do it your way, right? I don't want to answer your question.
I don't really understand. Do you mean how do we play standards as well?
Yeah, I know you do, but I mean, if you look not look, you find and you happen to record somebody else's song. So how does it happen? Probably.
How we choose the songs other people have written.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Peter, do you have a good answer on that question?
songs that are close to your heart. So I don't know what, like One and Only Love and I don't know.
Well, our first album, I say the Blue and the Green album, we started with My Funny Valentine, and then we wanted to have another great love ballad, and then we decided upon My One and Only Love. So that was, and it was meant to be 2 more albums in a series of blue, green, red, and yellow album, but we never did the red and yellow album. So we never got to. Yes, we recorded around midnight, Peter. Remember? Yeah, we did actually. But anyway, we didn't release those albums. So
you have version of Around Midnight?
Yes.
Oh, no. It's not recorded. It's recorded, but it's not released.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, we had the whole album recorded, like 90% of it, and there was a break in the studio, and this took everything in the studio. All hard drives with all the music, everything. Can you believe that?
Yeah, so we actually have a whole album that never got released.
Right.
But
you remember? have it on score.
Yes.
For I
Yeah,
did.
you did 2-3 scores different.
Yeah, for strings, and that is one of my really favorite. I worked a lot to do it my way. So it's mostly ballads. I mean, if you want to reharmonize the stuff, it's cool.
But you did also 7 Steps to Heaven and stuff like this.
Yeah, and four
For
from Four and More. Remember?
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
The working album, working with Miles Davis Quintet before track. I believe.
I don't understand the question.
You play the track called Four from the Working with Miles Davis Quintet record.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's of course he's got his own version too.
Peter, I think you should show the arrangement of your version of Four.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Play a little. I hope you hear it. It's just a beginning. I have to organize. It's a lot of loops, and I don't know how to use it yet. It's loading. Okay. You have to say if you don't hear it.
It was loud, now it's nothing.
I miss that you don't include any rappers in that song. It's like in style of Urbanator. Like it could be on your first Urbanator album. It will
Yeah,
be perfect.
Peter was around the album at times, and did few lines. I don't even remember where and what, but he is one of the first Urbanators, right?
So no, but this was meant for it, actually, for you, for
Uh-huh.
so.
I mean, we had a problem with the record company, so that's why we don't have 10 Urbanator albums. We have just really one or two, or maybe three, if I really remember correctly.
Three. Like
Yeah, but
first one the gray, the second one the purple, and the last one the
third
very.
one was already combination. Like we tried to, I tried to keep it going, but the record company was out, and they did crime. Probably Peter and Michael will understand the most of it. What they did, they got arguments. I mean, basically, we got into fights. So they took all the songs and put in different compilations. So they killed the band, basically. Almost. I mean, trying to keep it alive, but it was 89 when we started, 90, 91, and then now, I mean, it's not enough to put a nice groove, nice song, and put a rapper and say something fresh. This has been done already 1,000 times. So it's not like, I mean, if there's a great combination of people and great stuff, it's never too old or never bad, I think. But just to do an album, because Urbanator is a jazz with an attitude, and force it. No. I'm looking forward to do something like Urbanator, but it's got to be a little fresh idea. And I don't have it. Okay. Up to you guys.
Yeah.
Listen, any questions? Anybody? Karen, Peter, or anybody else? Would you like to say something? Anybody? Kathy, Michael, any questions?
I guess I got one.
Okay.
So I think I missed out on the title of the song that was just played. What's the name of that song again?
4.
It's 4?
Yes.
Oh, Miles Davis.
Miles Davis song.
Okay, because I think I've heard it definitely before, but then I heard it on like a taste of that melody of 4 when Herbie Hancock was doing a solo off of Great Gorge off the Joe Farrell album called Moon Germs.
Listen, when Peter does songs, sometimes you don't recognize. You just say, "I've heard it somewhere." Sometimes he hides the song.
I've been teaching.
There was a great record, Michael. There was a great record called 4 More, and that's where the song is.
Okay, cool.
Acoustic jazz.
The 4 and More was the live album, but originally it was on the Working with the Miles Davis Quintet record.
Yeah. By the way,
4 and More was later.
I have a
live.
strange question. What is the most advanced acoustic jazz album ever? Of course, everybody has different opinions, but I have my own. Acoustic jazz album, the best, like the end of acoustic jazz era. develop of the music, you know.
There's problem with your sound. It's an echo, so it's hard to hear.
Yeah.
I think in Kati we got the echo.
Okay, so I will mute maybe.
Anybody wants to answer this question?
Now it's better. Now I hear it.
Okay.
Say it again.
What was the like? Like to me, rock and roll ended on Jimi Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
For me, although I know what Michael's preferences are and different generation. So the same, I have ideas about acoustic jazz, and that on one album I never forget. And do you have one like this? I mean, acoustic, no, nothing, plugged in, just playing.
I don't know, can you see it? But it's a Ralph Towner Solstice record. It's on ECM Records with Jan Garbarek, Eberhard Weber.
I don't like ECM too much.
But it's acoustic.
No, but I think the Nefertiti album where forced, made acoustic jazz forefront. I mean, it's almost the end of what's the next? What can you do with the music? That's for me.
That's true. Or feel the Kilimanjaro.
Okay.
It was then they introduced. I think George Benson is playing one track with it.
No, on the Mice in the Sky. The George Benson is playing on Mice in the Sky. And on the Phyllis the Kilimanjaro, we got Dave Holland, Chick Corea.
Yeah.
But on the second track of the Mice in the Sky, we got George Benson.
That's true.
Cyprian is encyclopedia, jazz encyclopedia.
Maybe.
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Fantastic. Uh-huh.
No, but for me, it's Nefertiti. That era.
We can't hear you too well, Peter. Come closer, or
Now?
a little better, yeah.
I don't know if you can turn it up. Do you hear me?
Yes. Nice and clear.
Well, it's the same for me. Like my style is quintet, the last year's acoustic.
No, yeah, that's in a way. Karin, your favorite jazz singers, if there are any.
Well, I mostly get inspired by soul singers that got a little more power to them when they sing, and also improvise a little different, if you know what I mean. Aretha Franklin made a jazz album live in '68 or something, and I love that album. That was the first jazz vocal album I actually listened closely to. And she wasn't a jazz singer, they told me. She's a soul singer.
By the way, to me, it's all jazz. This is jazz, all jazz.
Yeah.
From Billy to Diana. And to
It's so much connected. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm. But I love when soul singers sing jazz, because it's a little different take on it when they do it. But I like Ella Fitzgerald. She's her improvising is very free and fun. She's got humor when she's improvising. I think she got that.
Great.
And did you cooperate with other singers? Did you sing?
No, not actually. I did it when I was young and I was a student at the music high school. But it was only with other students. Not professionally. I haven't. But I've taken lesson for Ursula Dulciak actually in New York, and it was then I met Michael also. So she's a great improviser. Singer.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Listen. Yep.
what was the last piece of music? Like, what was the last song which were very impressed you? Like something changed in your opinion when in the way when you look on the music.
Who are you asking me?
Yeah, this is the question to Peter.
Yeah, you asking Karen or Peter?
I'm asking
Peter. Mhm.
Changed. Gave me, it depends uh, which age I was. I think uh, in which age, because I started late to play. I was raised up in the north of Sweden, and there's no jazz over there. So I did some other things. I played ice hockey and stuff till I was 20 years old.
I played jazz in Luleå and Skellefteå, so there is jazz in North Sweden.
Yeah, maybe. But I played like, rock, maybe Return to Forever, Mahavishnu Orchestra, that kind of music. But then I went to the first jazz festival ever. I was sitting on the front row, and this was also up there. I don't know how, this was 75. And Freddie Hubbard was there with his band, and that blew me away. I was sitting in this, it's like going on a open cab Ferrari, 200 kilometers. I was, and then I understood this is my life. This is the real thing, because I got that, the emotion. It's not what they played, melodically or harmonic. It was so powerful. So that those really upper class musicians. Next time, a few years later, maybe 5 years later, it was Jacob Asturias and Peter Erskine live in Gothenburg. It's and also Herbie Hancock with Paul Jackson. Headhunters, the same time.
Recently, Paul Jackson passed away.
I saw it. It's depressing,
But you haven't mentioned Wayne Shorter yet. It's time for Wayne Shorter.
The Weather Report was Wayne Shorter, but the first tour he did after Weather Report, when he played Atlantis album, you know that one? In 86 or something. That was also, the best concert ever. So those, to have that feeling that hit me, that was the thing, that you understand that this is what music is about. And it's mainly actually from the rhythm sections. The American jazz rhythm sections was killing, because there was nothing like that here in Sweden.
I must say that Miles had 2 of my rhythm sections and Weather Report, another 2. And last one with Victor Bailey and
Omar Hakim.
Omar was basically, Joe called me and asked me, Michael, we have problems with Jacko changing rhythm section. I'm looking and auditioning. And I said, I got 2 guys, you won't audition. He said, no shit. I said, really? You don't need to audition them. Just hire them. And that's end of the story.
Yeah. I know that Jacques Cousteau stayed at your place. Ursula told me in New York. The first time in New York, he stayed at your place, right?
Yeah. and Marcus was 15, Kenny Kirkman 17. But it's not about me, the whole thing. I don't want to talk too much.
No, but it's fun. So, yeah, I don't know if you got my answer. The feeling of standing close to these fantastic musicians and feel in your heart, when they play.
I have a proposition. Karen and Peter done cover on the latest album in collaboration with Lenny White, who is a friend like since beginning of 90s. And, shall I play Bridge Over the Troubled Water to sum up our, I hope you will see it. If not, I'm sorry. Yeah?
You try it with the video, right?
Yeah,
I will.
we can try with the video, but if no, maybe just the sound, right?
Hold on. Jan rejoins.
Yeah, I already clicked it.
Now. Okay, hold on. The video is ready. Now I'm gonna share it.
Or you're sharing with everybody.
Yes. And play it. Can you hear it?
I can see it.
No,
I can see it, but can't hear it.
yeah, the same here. So it has to be without the video, just the music.
So I stop sharing and I play music, okay?
Yes, please.
But hey guys, it's very strange. Some of you hear it, some of you don't. It's not from here, it's from there. Some of you have different settings, but I don't want to, I don't know.
But Michael, the most important is music here.
I know, but the video nowadays, when you talk to young generation musicians, they say, "Did you hear this song?" Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Yes.
Small when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all.
Judy. Keep doing what you're doing because you're doing great stuff.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for
Hopefully
having us.
we can meet live after after COVID.
We hope we do.
Yeah.
It's close to Warsaw, actually.
We don't hear you. I don't hear you.
Yeah, now also.
Get closer to the microphone, Peter.
Here?
Yes.
Okay. We will definitely come and visit. It's not far to Warsaw.
It's not far. And, the COVID one day will be over, so the orchestras will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both get invited for Herb Symphony, I guess. So
That would be nice.
Really great. And then,
okay, Kati, everything okay?
Thank you so much.
Kati,
Thank you.
our well.
Thank you.
Everybody is cool. Everything's okay.
Thank you so
Oh,
much
good.
for the meeting. Yeah, everybody.
Have a great evening, and we're gonna meet again. Check in urbanatordays.com because there are changes gonna be, I mean, slowly but surely there will be a lot of stuff inside to check, to contact, a lot of hope everybody will like it.